Like we always say, we want a lot of things in life. We want this and we want that. We want to feel this and we want to feel that. I think it all boils down to just feeling happy, to just smiling for a little bit, to not have any burdens. And the day I feel has achieved a modest crest. So I can float suspended in the air around these glistening things whose shadows will never lengthen and whose weight no hand will ever feel. Hello, 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 hello. Hi everyone, hi everyone. Welcome back to another VexeroneASMR video. Hello, we have not had the opportunity to just sit down and talk for a little bit and read a little bit of poetry. And if you guys do not know already, reading poetry is probably one of like my most favorite things to do on this channel, and it gives me like an outlet to just relax, I know that our community has just been growing so much. Y'all have been so kind in the comment section, and it's not something I genuinely think I like deserve, but what I will say is that I read every single comment and I am just so appreciative of the things y'all say. But please note, you never have to say anything in this channel to keep me going. I am literally just so happy. I'm so happy that you're just enjoying the videos and relaxing and keeping this safe as a safe space. Because the world can sometimes be very wild, and I know that there are some stressors that can sometimes put us on edge. But right here, right now, for this evening where you're at, right over there, I really just want you to relax. I want you to take a second and breathe. I want you to take a second and realize that today you have done your best. Today you have done your best. Tonight you can rest. You can rest tonight. You are allowed to rest. And so we've done a couple of poems already myself. I think I have like a part 1 and a part 2. This is like my first ever like part 3 video. Poggers in the chat, just kidding. If you guys never watched a Twitch stream, you probably don't even know what poggers means, but that's okay. Believe it or not, I actually used to be a Twitch streamer. I've done a variety of kinds of content in my past, honestly, but this one is becoming my favorite because it's a way where I can like really just express myself and like who I am, and the fact that y'all are just kind enough to like support this being in front of a camera is just like, I'm just so appreciative. So just thank you. Anyways, let me not make this about me. Hey, you. Hey, you. Relax. Enjoy the little poetry session, and let me know which poem is your favorite. And so, with that being said, this is the book called The Art of Drowning. It's a book that I picked up from my local senior citizen community center because I'm super cool with the homies over there, and this is probably one of my favorite books that I've picked up since then. It is a collage, it is a variety, it is a collection of poems. And I say this so many times, but I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of pretty words on pretty paper. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Give me one moment. Give me one moment to like actually figure out the page. I don't know which page I'm on at. Okay. So let's start, shall we? Okay. So the first poem is called "The Best Cigarette." Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready as well. Relax. 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 Let's start. There are many that I miss, having sent my last one out a car window, sparking along the road one night years ago. The heralded ones, of course. After sex, the two glowing tips, now the lights of a single ship. At the end of a long dinner, with more wine to come than a smoke ring coasting into the chandelier. Or on the white beach, holding one with fingers still wet from a swim. How bittersweet these punctuations of flame and gesture. But the best were on those mornings when I would have a little something going in the typewriter. The sun bright in the windows. The sun bright in the windows. Maybe some Berlioz on in the background. I actually don't know how to pronounce that one. I apologize. I would go in the kitchen for coffee, and on the way back to the page, curled in its roller, I would light one up and feel its dry rush mixed with the dark taste of coffee. Then I would be my own locomotive, trailing behind me as I returned to work with little puffs of smoke, indicators of progress, signs of industry and thought, the signal that told the 19th century it was moving forward. That was the best cigarette. When I would steam into the study, full of vaporous hope, and stand there, the big headlamp on my face pointed down at all the words in parallel lines. By the way, just a quick heads up, I hope it's okay that when I read, I kind of like to repeat the words from time to time. It kind of helps me focus. But anywho, that was the first poem called "The Best Cigarette." I think my favorite paragraph kind of came more toward. I think it was towards this paragraph. Yeah, this one, when it said, then I would be my own locomotive, trailing behind me as I returned to work with little puffs of smoke, indicators of progress, signs of industry and thought, the signal that told the 19th century it was moving forward, just like that electrifying feel. Like I can, these are just words on paper, but I can just feel like the tone, the speed just like changed so suddenly. I thought that was like really, really cool. But anyways, let's move on to the second poem of the day. This one is called Metropolis. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this. These are my favorite museum rooms. The out-of-the-way ones on the upper floors, usually unpeopled, except for a single guard who appears and disappears in the maze of walls where these minor American paintings are I like the calm rustic ones, a surface of lake, the low bough of an oak like a long arm, a blue smudge of distant hills. Anything with cows, especially if they are standing in a steam, their large, vacuous faces staring into the warm 19th century afternoon. And if one has lowered her head to drink in the painter has indicated with flecks of white the water pouring down from the animal's mouth, then the day, I feel, has achieved a modest crest. Distant hills, vacuous faces staring into the warm 19th century afternoon. If one has lowered her head to drink, and the painter has indicated with flecks of white the water pouring down from the animal's mouth, then the day, I feel, has achieved a modest crest. And if it is raining outside that day and low clouds press down on city buildings, while people under umbrellas climb the marble steps, I usually find myself in front of the still lifes, those painstaking devotions to objects, agreeable possessions laid out on the altar of a table. I will examine the rim of a crystal pitcher, the glint of candlelight of a silver spoon, a curve of violin, the russet feathers of a grouse. I will put on my glasses and study this group of pears, this curling page of music, this flute inkwell or dinner bell, these wooden matches beautifully swung upon the dark green velvet cloth. This is when I feel the tongues of the world letting go of me, so I can float suspended in the air around these glistening things whose shadows will never lengthen and whose weight no hand will ever feel. You can have that bronze sculpture by the elevators, revolution holding the head of error and standing over the cadaver of monarchy. My place is here, leaning forward, wandering through the microscopic eyelash details of still life with herring, wine, and cheese, still life with tobacco, grapes, and pocket watch, still life with porcelain vase, silver tray, and glasses, or the one that always sends me out the door, returns me. Like a gyroscope, to the rain and the madhouse outcries of the streets, still life with wild strawberries on the wan label. That was so beautiful. That was so honest to God, so beautiful. I know this is like so embarrassing, but like, is it okay if I like reread that? Like, I reread that. There were so many parts I like really enjoyed. I hope that's okay. Don't hate me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. These are my favorite museum rooms. The out of the way ones on the upper floors, usually unpeopled except for a single guard who appears and disappears in the maze of walls, where these minor American paintings are hung. I like the calm rustic ones, a surface of lake, the low bough of an oak like a long arm, a blue smudge of distant hills, anything with cows, especially if they're standing in a stream, their large, vacuous faces staring into the warm 19th century afternoon. And if one has lowered her head to drink and the painter has indicated with flecks of white the water pouring down from the animal's mouth, then the day, I feel, has achieved a modest crest. This really serious. This is the part that I really like. And if it is raining outside that day and low clouds press down on city buildings while people under umbrellas climb the marble steps, I usually find myself in front of the still lifes. Those painstaking devotions to objects, agreeable possessions laid out on the altar of a table. I will examine the rim of a crystal pitcher, the glint of candlelight on a silver spoon, a curve of violin, the russet feathers of a goose. I will put on my glasses and study the group of pears, this curling page of music, this flute, inkwell, or dinner bell, these wooden matches beautifully strewn across and upon the dark green velvet cloth. This is when I feel the tongues of the world letting go of me, so I can float suspended in the air around these glistening things, whose shadows will never lengthen and whose weight no hand will ever feel. That is so beautiful. You can have that bronze sculpture by the elevators, revolution holding the head of era and standing over the cadaver of monarchy. My place is here, leaning forward, leaning forward, leaning forward, wandering through the microscopic eyelash details of still life with herring, wine, and cheese, still life with tobacco, grapes and pocket watch, still life with porcelain vase, silver tray, and glasses, or the one that always sends me out the door, returns me humming like a gyroscope to the rain and the madhouse outcries of the streets, still life with wild strawberries and a wan label. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful. I just thank you for being so understanding. I apologize that I kind of did like the same poem twice in a row, but that was like one of my favorite poems in this entire book. The description that he added, the tone in there, just like the imagery that he portrays, it's so like, it's so beautiful, But hey, let's reset for a moment, and I just wanted to, or I'm thinking that I want to chat for a little bit. So hello. Some very general logistics here, by the way. I apologize that I'm not using a Blue Yeti microphone. Believe me, I have tried using it, but something about that gargantuan monster of a beast of a microphone, it is just so like unwieldy. I'm like, I apologize. I am a failure as an ASMR artist. I am not using it, and I am working on it. I have about like 5 videos that I never posted because I was like, yo, this sounds like ass. I am no audio engineer, but like that did not sound good. And so I'm using this for today, and I'm just like really enjoying it, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. So with that being said, hey you, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I know that Valentine's Day just passed. You know, I know that there's a lot of love in the world to give. But it's also a day where people become very, very introspective. day of love, but also I feel like for a lot of people, including myself, it's a day where you feel like, why isn't there any love? Why isn't? And in those moments of time, I know that it's very, very easy. It's very easy to get caught up in these thoughts of like, it's me. And if that's you saying that, can you, hey, can you stop? That thing in your world, that thing in your life, if it has ever in your head has told you that you're not deserving of love, that the reason why you do not have love is because of you, can I just tell you? That's not the reason. It's wrong. It's not the reason. You are perfectly fine the way you are. The key to success is not hatred. The key to success is not hatred in yourself. Love yourself and appreciate yourself for everything that you are and all the beauty that you are. I see you. I experience your warmth and everything that you do, even in this little channel with a little comment or like. And even if you weren't in this channel, and even if you were not here for another day, that would not impact your worth at all. Your worth is in you. Your worth is in the now, and I know how hard it is to appreciate that. But right now, I want you to think about it. I want you to think back to your younger self. I want you to think back and think about what that person would have wanted in your life. What the person really, really, really desires in your life. I think we always say we want a lot of things in life. We want this and we want that. We want to feel this and we want to feel that. I think it all boils down to just feeling happy. To just smiling for a little bit. To not have any burdens. And so I feel like I'm running around in circles in what I'm saying right now. But if it's any help, if it's any desire, hi. This is... I almost said my name. This is Vexerone. Just as a simple reminder for you to close your eyes tonight. Just close your eyes. To close your eyes. To close your eyes. To close your eyes. I want to remind you as you close your eyes that you're doing alright. You're doing alright. You're doing the best. And you should never, ever, ever critique anyone, especially yourself, for doing your best. I am proud of you. You should be proud of yourself as well. So smile. 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 And hug something close by. Close by. You are so worthy of all the love. You are going to operate from a place of love. You are the essence of love, and don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever forget that. You are a star in this world, and you have a purpose in this place. And if you do not know that right now, let me be the one to tell you, and let you be the one to realize this when your time comes. And it is coming soon. So be you. Express only your truest self. Never, 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 never apologize for being you. You are beautiful, so amazingly beautiful, so uncomprehendibly beautiful. Know that, feel that, experience it. Don't look at me. I am just a person reminding you of your beauty tonight. Stay well. Rest well. I'm so happy you are here for another day, and I hope to see you another day. With that being said, good night. Good night. Good night. session.